Today I'd like to tie for you a Beadhead Sparkle Pupa. The hook I have in the vise is a Mustad. This is a Pupa scud hook. I have a 2mm bead on the hook, and you can make this bead. I have a silver one. You can make that whatever color you'd like, your preference, and you can also make it to the size you want depending on how deep you want the fly to go through the water. I'm going to use olive thread, and I have this hook placed in here arched because I'm going to start working on the back. So I'm going to attach the thread behind the bead and bring that up. And I'm going to go pretty good distance around the bend. I'm going to stop there. I'm pretty far around the bend. And to start, we're going to start with Antron or poly yarn. And this is just 1/2, maybe 1/3 of the poly yarn. I'm going to take that poly yarn, and I'm going to wet the end there a little bit. Just kind of helps it get into place. We're going to tie that in right at the back. And we're going to bring that up, securing all of the poly yarn. And I'm going to come about half. Now I'm going to take my olive squirmy wormy. I'm going to tie that in right at the halfway. Just going to catch it just a little bit. There we go. You can see I have it just caught on the edge of it. It's going to pull this. Remember I said you can pull this 5 times the length of the, or 10 times the length of the original form. I'm going to bring this back. A little bit more poly yarn in there I got to get a hold of, but it's coming. Just keep that stretched, and I'm going to bring my thread back up. You can work on evening out that base thread. And I'm going to bring this up to the flat. Now I'm going to take that hook and I'm going to stand that up a little better, so that the flat area is more or less flat. There we go. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to take my bobbin cradle and move this thread out of the way. I'm not going to be rotating the hook, but I just want to get that thread out of the way. I'm going to take my body, that squirmy wormy, and I'm going to wrap it. And remember, the tighter you wrap, the bigger or the smaller the body will be, the thinner it will be. And this one, since it's going to be covered with pupa, with the sparkle, I'm not going to pull it that hard. Oop. I'll get it up here on the flat, and I'm going to tie that off. I have to move my bobbin cradle once again. Pull that tight when you're securing it. And put a few tight wraps right in front of it, and that will pinch it in there nicely. And then we'll remove the excess. Now we're going to take a comb or your piece of Velcro and comb this out really well. You want to get it pretty wide. We're going to take that and we're going to bring it up around, and you want to get it around most of the shank. And I'm going to tie that off. Get a good wrap on it before you let go. Now that you have it in there, you can take it and work it around a little better. And you want this to be, you don't want this tight. You want that to be like the case. And you can see on the bottom there's not much, but that's okay. I'm going to take this and remove the excess. I think I better tighten that up there just a little bit more. Missed a couple of threads there. There we go. Then I'm going to secure that. And keep that kind of even. Going to take a partridge feather. And I'm going to tie in the complete feather. I'm going to take off more of this. I'm going to tie one in per side there. Just going to rip all of this off. And you want these to be underneath. Going to hold that right to the side. And I'm going to give it a couple of wraps. And then I'm going to pull it into size. And we want that to cover about half of the body. We also want them to be on the underside. So I'm just pushing them with my finger and I'm going to secure them more to the sides of the hook. There we go. Remove that excess. Oop, I missed it. There we go. And I'm going to take another similar feather. Another partridge. Pull that all together. And I'm going to place it on this side. This one I'm going to match the size. I'm going to place that right underneath, and that sparkle bubble is going to hold them there in place since I'm pulling up on it. And we'll remove that excess. I'm going to take a darker gray Antron dubbing and we're going to tie the head. Just dub that on there. Take our whip finisher. Give it 3 or 4 whip finish turns. Move that. We're going to put some head cement on there. And just put it basically on the bead and let it roll down. Now before we finish, I'm going to just rough up that top there a little bit. Got a little bit too long on those. And here we have a Beadhead Sparkle Pupa. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends, leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.